here. What do you say? My Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, your sister's ass, the Pony Express. A very ticked off Vic here. You know what ticks me off? Taking cartoon characters too seriously. Let me explain. This whole Pepe Le Pew thing really got me thinking. So I'm about to think out loud. Now follow me. First of all, let me set this up. Every single Pepe Le Pew cartoon started with the same premise. A black female cat somehow gets a white stripe painted on her back without her knowing it. And she ultimately crosses paths with Pepe Le Pew, who thinks she's a female skunk. Okay, stop right there. As a kid, this was such a great premise because even we kids knew what the joke was. We also knew that animals didn't mate with other animals that weren't in their species. Like I knew rabbits didn't hump squirrels, and cows didn't hump sheep, and skunks didn't hump cats. Okay, whatever. Let's keep going. Pepe didn't know the female cat was a cat. He thought she was a skunk because of the painted white line on her back. But the cat knew she was a cat. The cat's entire effort to get away from Pepe was because she didn't want to engage in interspecies sex. She knew, he didn't. I can't even believe I'm explaining this. And by the way, I wish the people of Mississippi would stop with the interspecies sex crap too. Okay, anyway. The whole premise of Pepe Le Pew wasn't that he was a sexual offender. Yes, he was sexual, and yes, he loved females, and yes, he was a little pushy. But that wasn't the premise of the cartoon. The premise was the case of mistaken identity. Because he was a skunk and thought the cat was a skunk, but only the cat knew she was a cat and not a skunk. Holy shit. Look. Us kids knew Pepe was playing a role based on the idea that Frenchmen were highly romantic. I mean, holy shit, a skunk had a French accent! And it seemed like when I was a kid, anything French was associated with love. Gomez would go nuts when Morticia spoke French. The French guy in a lot of movies and TV shows was always going after the women. So it seemed Pepe Le Pew was just another silly, fictionist French character. And he was a cartoon skunk, for Christ's sakes! Anyway, moving on. The whole thing was just a crazy, exaggerated farce. Pepe wasn't tying the cat up and bringing her to a mountain cabin. Pepe wasn't putting pills in her drink. Pepe wasn't doing anything but being attracted to probably the only female skunk in his town, which is another fucking thing that drove me nuts. When I was a kid, where are all the female skunks? So Pepe Le Pew is now being considered too sexually aggressive. Holy shit. And you know what? So was Dracula. And he also sucked out their blood and made them vampires too. Are we banning Dracula now? What about rabbits? Rabbits eat their own shit. Do we need to ban Bugs Bunny now because he's fucking disgusting? People, these aren't real characters. There are no French skunks with French accents trying to pick up cats with painted white stripes on their back. Did I just fucking say that out loud? Vampires aren't real. Bugs Bunny may or may not have eaten his own shit, but I'll tell you this. I'm trying to figure out what makes sense and what doesn't make sense with regards to art and fantasy and freedom of thought, and it seems like there really isn't a line you can draw. It's dangerous. At least not in art, music, literature, film, TV, and music. The problem for me is I don't understand how one thing in art is considered something and another thing in art isn't considered something. Do you know what I mean? It's all art. Look, I didn't watch Pepe Le Pew and become aggressive with girls. I knew it was a cartoon and it was farce. I knew it wasn't real. It didn't make me do anything just like Elmer Fudd didn't make me hunt rabbits, and the coyote didn't make me buy dangerous explosives, and the Three Stooges didn't make me hit anyone in the fucking head with a hammer. Well, at least not anyone who didn't deserve it. Okay, look. Here's my dilemma. If a poem has a premise, or a book has a character, or a song has a lyric, or a painting has a subject, or whatever has whatever that someone finds upsetting, I'm not sure if getting rid of it is the answer. Isn't that the exact opposite of why we try to support and preserve the arts? And isn't our artistic expression an extension of our right to free speech? Hey, look, I'm not saying someone can't say something about it. They can, but it's art. It's subjective. Can they or should they ban it? That is a whole different discussion. And one I'm struggling with right now. Taking cartoon characters too seriously, that's what ticks me off.